Hey, my name is Dan. I used to work at the biggest dealership in the country, and now I teach fine folks like you how not to get fucked when buying a car. Kind of a cool gig, huh? Thank you, thank you. Someone has to do it. Now in this video, I want to talk to you about car technologies of 2018 and how car manufacturers are working very hard. They're working so hard to bring us the best technologies. They're working so hard day and night. They hired the best engineers to bring us the best things they can bring us. We're going to start from the bottom. We're going to start with car seats, and especially heated car seats. Can anybody take a wild guess when heated car seats were invented? 1951 by Robert Ballard, and he actually invented not only heated seats but cooled seats also. Thank you, he is the real MVP. Here's the thing, he worked at GM. He went to manager, he went to higher management, he went to the CEO, to the president of the company, and he offered, hey guys, for 50 bucks we can have heated seats. We can have heated seats, we can have cooled seats. Can you imagine how great that would be? You know what GM said? Maybe in the future, somewhere far ahead in the future, we might have heated seats. And by 2018, we still do not have heated seats and cooled seats as a standard feature on every car. Do you know why? Because companies are charging $1,000, $1,500 or $1,700 for this option, when in reality it costs no more than $50 for them to put it in. Kind of cool, huh? All right, now let's talk about CVT transmissions. Continuous variable transmission. Guess when CVT transmissions were invented? If you guessed 1879 and you guessed they were invented for cutting trees at the sawmill, you are correct, because that's what they are invented for. Unfortunately, car manufacturers putting CVT transmissions is really bad. It's just a really bad decision. I mean, they're really slow, they shift really bad. Everything about them is really bad. The only upside and the only reason they put them into cars is because they provide 5 to 7 miles a gallon better economy, just better fuel economy. That's it. Car manufacturers are too lazy to create better engines. They're too lazy to create new transmissions. Pulling an old transmission that's 120 years old and put it into your car, that's not new. That's not new. That's old. That's taking old thing and putting it into something new. How is that a new thing? So I just hate CVTs. I'm sorry, I just hate CVT transmissions. Let's move on. ESC, electronic stability control. If a deer jumps in front of you, a cat or a person on a bicycle falls, or a car in front of you brakes, or you have to outmaneuver a car accident in front of you, and you brake all of a sudden, instead of you ending up in a ditch, you will be alive. ESC saves as much as 40% of lives that otherwise would be lost. ESC, electronic stability control, was invented in 1995. Do you know when it was implemented into mass market? Do you know when most cars started to use it? 2012. For 17 years, manufacturers could have been saving lives. 40% of people that died could have been saved. Not 4, not 3%, 40%, almost half the people could have been saved. You know what they have been doing? Nothing. They were just collecting money from the new cars that they were selling. Manufacturers don't really have your best interest in their mind. They don't really care about your safety. Unfortunately, that's the bottom line. Here's another cool car innovation. Windows that block sound. Acoustic windows. It's a really easy system. You have a glass, then you have a special film that blocks the sound that's coming in, and you have another piece of glass. It's just a sandwich. You put it in your car and you enjoy your beautiful soundproof life. You can still hear the sirens, people screaming and flipping you off because you're driving like shit, but the road noise, the freeway noise will be significantly reduced. The reason we don't have this in every single car is because car manufacturers are simply keeping it for themselves so they can charge you more, because this is only available on cars after $60,000, $70,000, $80,000, $100,000 cars. Are you going to be buying an $80,000 car in near time future? Well, I am not planning on it, but if you are, definitely get this option For one low payment of $2,000, it's all yours. Here's something else. What you see on the left side here is a car that has been taken apart completely, straight to the metal. On the right side, you see a car that has special acoustic insulation. Manufacturers can put this special acoustic insulation to reduce the sound that's coming through the car, from the engine, and from the road. You can cut the road noise significantly with this. And it doesn't cost a lot for manufacturers to put this in. It's not gold, it's nothing special. It's just soundproofing. That's it. Nothing magical about it. It's not dangerous. There's no reason why car manufacturers can't put this on every single car. What you see here is a Toyota Land Cruiser. The highest, the most expensive Toyota there is. This is their most expensive car. And it doesn't even have acoustic insulation. You have to do it yourself. The sad fact is that in 2018, this is not a standard feature on every single car. It's an option. It's something you can pay extra for. Take a wild guess when Bluetooth was available on cars. 1998 with Saab 9-3. Guess when Bluetooth was a standard feature. Here's an article that I found. Over 90% of cars feature Bluetooth tech by 2016, study says. That means that even at 2016, not all cars had Bluetooth in them. You know how cheap it is to put Bluetooth? $5, $6, $7, $8? It's super cheap. There's no reason why Bluetooth should not be a standard feature from 1998. All right, now let's watch Top 10 Automotive Technologies for 2018 by KBB. You will be blown away.
Technologies of 2018 highlight helpful automotive technologies that car shoppers should closely consider when buying a new car. Here's a quick look at this year's list. The latest breed of connected mobile apps let drivers use their smartphone to, among other things, lock and unlock their vehicle, remotely start the engine, send directions to the navigation system.
By the way, this is not free. This costs sometimes as $60, $40, $50 a month. This is not free and it is not cheap.
Schedule service appointments.
I can schedule a service appointment on my car. That's kind of neat. Quick question, can I schedule a service appointment to my mechanic, or can I only schedule a service appointment to their mechanic that charges $60, $70, $100 an hour? Can I do an oil change my own at Jiffy Lube for $35, or do I have to go to a dealership and pay $75?
And in electric cars, monitor and manage the battery's charge.
Hold up. So on electric cars, I can monitor and manage battery's charge. This word manage implies that I can do something about it. So here's some things I can do about it. Turn off the AC, turn off the radio, turn off the headlights. You know what? Just turn off the whole goddamn car. You can't do anything with this electric car. You can't charge it on a whim like this. You can't do that. It's not a gas-powered car because it takes hours and hours and hours to charge these cars. When they say manage, you can actually put in just turn off the options. AC in California, you don't need that. Headlights at night, you don't need that.
With this technology, parents can customize vehicle settings to reduce distractions, lock out features, and send automatic location alerts via text or email.
Distractions and lockout features. What kind of distractions are there in cars? Literally, a fucking jumping monkey? A clown performing tricks? Chevy, what kind of distractions are there in your car? What kind of features can you lock out? Bluetooth, is that the only feature you can lock out? Features, multiple? There's a lot of features you can lock out? Really? Like what? Texting, calling, map, movies, watching YouTube? What features can you lock out that I cannot use on my fucking phone?
Some even allow parents to analyze their child's driving behavior after the fact. Consider this the ultimate tattletale.
I don't have kids, and I hope I never will, but if there was a younger me at 15, 14, 16 years old, I would rather him know how to drive than babysit his ass and constantly be worried about him. I'd rather him know how to use a car, how to use a chainsaw, how to use a stove, how to use a gun, how to use anything. Anything. I want him to be a professional at it. Not constantly be babysitting him. Oh my God, you're going 20 miles over. You're accelerating too fast. I'd rather spend $2,000 with him on an open course in a professional driver or a week or a couple of weekends so he knows how to fucking drive in snow, how to drive in the rain, how to take over a truck, how to merge, how to properly switch lanes on the freeway, how to deal in traffic situations. If there's an accident in front of him, what to do.
Using radar or cameras, adaptive cruise control allows a vehicle to automatically adjust its speed to match the traffic ahead.
Are you freaking serious? Adaptive cruise control? Are they actually for real? It was available in 1999. How is this new? This shit is not new. It was available 19 years ago.
Reducing driver workload and improving safety. LED headlights are smaller, more efficient, and illuminate the road far more effectively than old-school halogen headlamps.
I'm not sure if he's uneducated or he's lying to us. That is not an LED headlight. I know it looks like it. It's not an LED headlight. That's a LED light bulb. LED light bulbs cost $30 and they were available 8 years ago. Probably more than that, but available 8 years ago for sure. But here's a real question. Do you know when LEDs were invented? In 1962. 1962, that's about 60 years ago. Why don't we have LEDs everywhere on our cars since 1960s? Oh, because car manufacturers and light bulbs companies like to charge $50 and $60 for light bulbs, and LEDs won't be burning out all the time. That's the real reason. So this thing is not fucking new at all. I can go to eBay and buy one for $30.
Not only do they more closely mimic natural sunlight, but they last the life of the vehicle. Apple CarPlay and Android Auto allow drivers to access the contacts, music, texting, and navigation abilities of their smartphones through a smartphone-like interface conveniently displayed on the vehicle's touchscreen.
Apps? Are you fucking kidding me? An app? Another fucking app. This is the second app that he already is talking about. Apps are not new. We had apps since 2007 with the invention of an iPhone, and before that we had apps on PDAs. Yeah, there were also apps. Apps are not fucking new. Apps on a car? This is not even an app on a car. It's just a mirror from what you have on your phone. It's not even the original fucking app. It's just a copy of what you have on your phone. Here's a better question. Can I use any of that shit while I'm driving? Oh no, I can't text while I'm driving, can't call while I'm driving unless I have Bluetooth? Hold on, so what's the point of that app if I have Bluetooth? So you're telling me this is nothing new again. Okay, let's move on. USB ports, is he on drugs? I mean, I understand this is California and shit is legal, but how high are you while making this shit? You know what? Maybe these are magical USBs. Maybe these are USBs from the future.
A single USB port is all that's needed to connect a smartphone to your car, but with multiple USB ports in all rows, your passengers can keep their electronic devices charged too.
I can't do. They moved USB ports from the front to the back. Are you fucking serious? How's this new? We had USB ports since 2003, 2004 as a mainstream. I'm not talking about when they were invented even. They were invented before that. I'm talking about like everybody had one. You can go to fucking Walmart and buy one. This is not new. How is USB port new? They moved it from the front of the car to the back of the car. How is this new?
Poor rear visibility can make it tricky to back out in a parking lot. To that end, rear cross-traffic alert reduces the likelihood of an accident by detecting and warning the driver when cars or pedestrians are approaching from blind spots.
Is that a backup camera? Is that a fucking backup camera with a 360-degree camera in 2018? That shit was available on a Q45 in 2002, and Nissan offered 360-degree cameras. How is this new? This shit is 16 years old. 16 years old. This is not new at all.
With lane departure warning, an audible chime or vibration through the steering wheel or seat alerts the driver that their vehicle has drifted from its lane. More advanced versions of this technology will even help steer the vehicle back into its lane.
Is he serious? That was available on the Mitsubishi in 1992. This is not new again. This shit was available on the fucking Mitsubishi. I don't even consider Mitsubishi as a car manufacturer. Half of their shit is fucking dildos, toasters, and TVs. This is not new. A company that manufactured TVs and cars had this on their cars. How is this new? I don't understand.
When equipped with automatic emergency braking, a vehicle can detect a stationary or slow-moving vehicle ahead and, if needed, automatically apply the brakes to avoid or lessen the severity of a collision.
Mercedes had this in their 2000s cars. It was called Distronic. It was some kind of stupid-ass name, but they had it in year 2000. This right here is 18 years old. Moreover that, we're not done just yet. Guess what? The technology they're using, the radar-based, it's just a radar-based technology. It sends a signal and it bounces back to the car. Okay, that was available in 1995. It took Mercedes 5 fucking lazy years to put that in their cars, and they actually had it in cars. Now we're praising this in 2018 as if it's new. It's not new. It was available in 1995 and it was implemented in cars in 2000. You know what? Maybe I'm just angry at this guy for making a shitty video. Maybe his job is to make shit videos. You know, he's paying his bills, taking care of the family, and he's working for the stupid-ass KBB company, and he's making shit videos. He's doing what he's supposed to do. I'm just angry at him. You know what? 360, wait, he's double dipping. I am not going hard enough on this guy. He is double dipping. He just talked about 360-degree cameras. He just, you know what, maybe it's a magical 360-degree camera. Maybe it will let you see souls of your enemies when you're driving past them. Or maybe it can detect dumbasses. That'd be great. If it can detect stupid people, that'd be great.
360-degree camera systems stitch together an overhead helicopter view for the driver when parking, delivering enhanced situational awareness that a simple low-mounted backup camera simply can't match. And that is a very brief look at Kelley Blue Book's 10 best automotive technologies of 2018.
I'm done. I can't even. Hey, if you enjoyed this video, give me a thumbs up below and click the subscribe button over my head, or watch one of those 2 videos if you want to see more money-saving tips about cars. This is Dan with 60 Minute Car. I'm signing out, and I'll see you on the internet.